Archie, nice to see you. How's it all going? This loan spell of yours, obviously not the first loan spell you've had. How's your assessment of it?
Yeah, there's been ups and downs. Obviously, I think like you get with any season, really, in any loan spell you go on. But for myself, it's been really good. Obviously, the result of the weekend was disappointing especially after two great results over the Easter weekend. So yeah, kind of just haven't really been looking back too much, reflecting. Just been looking forward really. So focusing on the game tomorrow.
The team as a whole, and it must be frustrating for you guys as well as the manager who we've just spoken to, has been inconsistent, and it's sort of held you back a little bit. What do you put that inconsistency down to?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. We had a big talk this morning, watched the game back and spoke about things. It's hard to put your finger on it really. If you could, then we wouldn't really be in that position. Like you say, it's been disappointing. We come off two great results in the two derbies over the weekend, and then we go and put in that performance against Doncaster. So it's really frustrating for us all as a whole. Something we've been trying to work out. Obviously, there's only 4 games left to go now, so it could be too late really to almost figure it out. But we need to look at ourselves and work out why we've been up and down so much in form.
Credit to you though, Archie, as a group for keeping the playoff hopes alive for so long. This football club has obviously gone through quite a lot off the pitch this season, more than a lot of other clubs. So for you to still be in the mix, albeit it's a tall order now, is great for you, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, I think when I came in here, they came off the back of a really tough spell. I think we might have been down in about 17th or 18th or something like that. And we kind of just said to ourselves we need to put a run together, and we managed to do that and get ourselves back in the mix. And like you say, it's a big ask now, but we're still in the mix. If we go and win our next 4 games, then we leave it up to the other teams to go and do their job. So yeah, it's nice to be in the mix, but ultimately that's where we want to be at the end of the season. So if we don't manage to do that, then I think we'll be disappointed.
Are you looking at a situation now where you need to win all 4 games? Do you think?
I think so. Yeah, I think when you look at Crawley went and won at the weekend 4-1. They've kind of put themselves in a nice position. Even Doncaster beating us have put themselves in quite a nice position. So I think it's going to take us to win all 4 games. So we're just looking to Crewe now, and we need to go and win that game first, and not think about the other 3 yet.
Yeah. What's your assessment of Jed Brannan's time as the manager, head coach, whatever you want to call him? But from the outside, he's taken on this job and obviously had all the issues, the transfer embargo at the moment. In the dressing room, what's the feeling towards him?
Very positive. I think, like you say, when we've been up and down in form, I think the players have been looking at themselves, a lot of the time. I've really enjoyed working under him. I think he's been great with me, and I think a lot of boys would echo that as well. We come off at the weekend, and I don't think you can't turn to him and ask him like what's going on. Do you know what I mean? We need to look at ourselves as players on the pitch when we come off performances like that. They're giving us the tools to go out there. But like I say, I've really enjoyed it, and I think a lot of players would echo that.
When he's upset, I'm going to pick out the Salford game where obviously it wasn't great, and he's upset in the dressing room. Is it quite structured anger, if that makes sense, criticism towards you to try and make you respond to that?
Yeah, definitely. I think like after that game again, we had another talk. It's obviously you get a bit of a rant and a rave, but a lot of the time it is just having an honest discussion with us, letting us come back with our honest thoughts as well. Do you know what I mean? To try and work out what's gone wrong, really. So I wouldn't say it's like ranting and raving. I think a lot of the time it is just discussions, which is good. Him giving his honest feedback, Fitzy as well, and then us saying what we think.
How well have you developed as a goalkeeper since you've been here?
I think I've learned a lot. Just even in terms of play style and try to win games, but the way we played at Notts and Gateshead is not completely different, but a bit of a contrast to what I would say how we play here. So it's good for me to come out and learn how different managers want to play, different players as well. I think stepping into the Football League is my first loan playing in the Football League, so I've learned a lot from that. So I would say I've developed a good bit.
You kind of demonstrated your character a little bit in coming back from that Gillingham game where things didn't quite go to plan for you, and then made several really good saves against Accrington and Barrow. that shows what you're about, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was disappointed with the Gillingham game. I held my hands up after the game, and took that responsibility. It was my fault that we didn't pick up a win in that game. And then we had a quick turnaround to the Easter weekend. We had 2 games, so I just kind of tuned into the next game and knew that I had to go out there and put in a performance, put a bit of pressure on myself to go and do that, which thankfully I managed to do and turn it around after that Gillingham game. But I think as a footballer, there's always different days and times where you have an off day, and I think just the important thing is to bounce back from it.
How do you deal with it? It's different for goalkeepers, isn't it? You make a mistake outfield, doesn't get noticed. You make a mistake as a goalkeeper, it gets noticed and people talk about it. How do you deal with that?
I think when you've been a goalkeeper all your life, it kind of just gets ingrained in you almost. Maybe at the start, it's more difficult. Over time, you never take it nicely. Obviously, when you go home that night, you're sitting thinking about it and everything. But I think, for me anyway, I just think about it that night, maybe the next day. But after that, just park it, and start thinking forward. And like I say, I think the gaffer was brilliant with me after that. He pulled me in and spoke to me and just said, it's gone. You've been good for us so far, so these things happen. He said it's gone. Baz the same, and I think the boys as well. Do you know what I mean? They weren't getting too hung up on me going forward in the days after that, so that helped me as well. But yeah, I think it's just important to look forward. Really, you look at yourself after the game, think about what you could have done better, then park it and get on with the next one.
Yeah. Do you know what the future holds yet? You're out of contract, aren't you, at Norwich? Have they indicated anything towards what the future might hold for you? Because there's several goalkeepers, isn't there, at Norwich on the fringes of things as you are?
Yeah, I've been speaking with them, so we'll just kind of see what happens really going forward next season. They've spoke to me, and I really enjoy it there and everything. So I'm kind of just speaking to them at the moment and seeing what the thoughts are going forward, but not completely sure.
Obviously, this is a difficult one, but because of the transfer embargo, no one knows what's going to happen there. If there was a situation where you could come back here and maybe stay, would that be something you'd want to do?
Look, I don't know what Norwich are fully thinking. Do you know what I mean? If I stay there, if they want me to go back on loan, or if even if I don't, so I'm not sure. Obviously, like you say, with the transfer embargo, it's difficult in that. I wouldn't turn down coming and playing football if that was an option for me. Do you know what I mean? But I think, like you say, with the transfer embargo and things, the gaffer's got bigger things to worry about really at the moment than me.
It's a bit of a crazy life, isn't it, when you've as a footballer now, you've got to look at those things that are going on off the pitch at football clubs as well that could affect your future.
Yeah, exactly. I think most of the boys here are out of contract, at this club, and not knowing what's going to go on in the future can be difficult for them. I'm not really in a different position because I'm not signed here permanently, but it's difficult when these things go on off the pitch. But I think as footballers, you need to just focus on yourself and try concentrate on the games. These things go on in the background, and it can play a little part, but I think it's just important to focus on yourself.
And the immediate focus is obviously playing Crewe. Amazing comeback at Gresty Road, to come back from 2-0 down to win 3-2. Crewe obviously in the playoff positions. What type of game do you think it'll be?
I think it's going to be a fast-paced game. I think they've been on a little dip as well lately, and they won't want to lose to us because we can close the gap on them. So I think it's going to be quite a fast-paced and aggressive game. We know they're a quality side, like you say. We had a good comeback there last time, so I think it's a really important game for both sides. So I think it should be a good one.
Get money for your old phone, MazumaMobile.com.